Hello there, Gemini. Welcome to your monthly forecast. This is for the month of October. To all of my returning viewers, I'd like to welcome you back. And if you're brand new, let me introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Each and every month, this is how I organize the forecast. I like to begin with channeled information. And this is when I connect directly to intuition and to my guides, and I share whatever comes through in the forms of thoughts, feelings, or other sort of messages. After I do this, then I use the cards and we pull a full Celtic Cross to look at all of the opportunities for the month, as well as the challenges. I like to let that part also be very organic, so afterwards I extend the forecast to look at specific areas including health, wealth, love, and destiny. Just a reminder that everything that you see here today can be used for your sun, your rising, and for your moon sign. And if you'd like to watch for someone that you care about in your life, you can also watch it on their behalf. If you don't happen to know those different aspects of your chart, the sun, the rising, the moon, then simply stick with the sign that you were born under and you'll get all the guidance you need by doing that. As you can see, this really provides you with a comprehensive overview of everything the month has to offer. So if you enjoy what you see, I'd encourage you to stick around until the very end. At this point, not only will I give you a closing word and kind of summarize everything that we've talked about, but I will also highlight all of the ways that you can give back and support the channel. And this includes everything from, of course, liking and subscribing, joining me on social media, booking an appointment if you'd like to talk a little bit further about something that's going on during any given month, or of course, if you'd like to contribute and become a patron. There's a lot of ways that you can give back, and I'll get into all of this a little bit later, but right now I want to talk about your channeled messages for the month of October. This month, when I selected a deck of cards and I began to meditate on your sign, in my mind's eye, what I saw was that motion that you'll do when you're in a hurry. You kind of tap your fingers on the table. And I got this feeling of rushing or being impatient. And the kind of whisper of intuition that came through was that everything is going to be all right, that this is worth whatever sort of weight you're being put through right now. And in fact, you can either speed up or slow down a lot of what's going on in your life right now by your emotional response and how you kind of optimistically or pessimistically look at whatever it is you're trying to bring about. So first and foremost, whatever you're trying to do, there is a little bit of a delay or a wait, but it's worth the wait. Secondly, you have more sort of an effect on this, or more of power in this situation than you might be giving yourself credit for. So what you can do this month is to start to rest assured that the universe has your back, that if something isn't kind of working right now, whether it's taking a while to get a job, or you feel like some sort of goal or checklist item is just going at a snail's pace, take a deep breath and see if there's something that you should be paying more attention to. Sometimes when a delay comes through and we feel like there's some sort of a roadblock that the universe is putting in front of us, it's actually there as a constructive thing so that you can avoid a mishap. Possibly there's something better around the corner for you, a better partner, a better partnership, a better work situation, whatever it is. Right now, you're actually better off than you think, and you can, by sort of taking a deep breath and not feeling like you're trying to sort of sprint through this situation or this moment in time, you're going to call in whatever that is a little faster. Because sometimes the urgency or the inability to be present and view whatever it is the universe is trying to draw your attention to, that's what's actually slowing down the future. So you have power to get to that goal a little faster by simply taking a deep breath, pausing, and feeling like this current situation, even this reading right now, it's coming through for your benefit so that you can better embrace the future opportunity to set you up for success. And in fact, maybe to highlight something that you didn't even consider that may be right in front of you, may be easier to access, and may be much better for you. So open up your eyes. It's almost like you're taking blinders off and looking around, sort of metaphorically speaking, and seeing what it is that maybe you haven't considered. It could be a person right around you in your periphery that is interested in you or has some news or has a way to help you. Once you kind of wake up to the opportunities, then all of a sudden this velocity will sort of pick up and you're going to find that what you were looking for happens a lot faster this time. But you have to figure out why the pause is happening right now. And once you realize it is here as a benefit and you're going to learn something from the pause, you'll be okay. In tarot, this would be the Hanged Man, basically. The Hanged Man in tarot, by the way, it's based on Norse mythology, and I believe it's Odin that was hanging upside down to gain some insight. And this isn't always sort of a pleasant situation to be in, but it absolutely will benefit you in the future. So if you can just meditate a little bit, take in whatever lessons are coming through, and redirect your energy, then everything is going to start to pick up, okay? I can't remember if I showed this, so I want to go ahead and pull my automatic writing here so that you can see it. I basically captured that what's happening in your life right now, this pause, it's very important. And whatever you're trying to eventually bring through in your life, it's worth the wait. Your thoughts, your opinion, your sort of reaction to that pause is going to either accelerate or decelerate the eventual action that's going to happen at the end. But the most important piece, and I might add it to this card later, is that you are gaining knowledge through this perceived delay. It's not a delay, it's actually a gift. Once you kind of bring in the knowledge and understand what it is you're supposed to kind of absorb, then everything picks up, okay? Let's go ahead now and move along to the Celtic Cross. I'm going to lay out all of the cards, pull the camera down as I'm doing this, and I like to remain quiet at this point. That allows me not only to observe the positions of the cards, but I also receive additional guidance while I'm doing that. So after I've laid out everything, I'm going to pull up each card one by one and relate it to the messages for the month ahead. Let's go ahead and begin with your Catalyst card, and in my spread, the Catalyst is a bonus card which not only kind of ties together everything, but it also gives you some advice on how to really embrace the positive energy of the month and avoid a potential pitfall. So the main headline on this is Passion and Pleasure, but underneath it says Savor Your Life. And I think this goes back to what we were talking about. If you can enjoy what's going on right now, be present, look around, really take in not just the lessons, but also the blessings and the fun things in your life right now. That gratitude, that enjoyment, that release that happens through the passion and pleasure will allow you to also kind of be more in the flow of what the universe is trying to bring into your life. Now, I mention this a lot, but I like to reiterate it whenever it comes through in the cards. I believe that we are our most powerful and also satisfied, successful, etc. when we are working our passion. Sometimes I think we're still kind of recovering from the old 20th century leftover idea that you just have to work hard and you can't have fun. Fun equals not being productive or not being successful. When you think of a successful businesswoman like Oprah Winfrey, her entire platform is basically built upon things that bring her a sense of joy, spirituality, and most importantly, passion. Nothing is a better example of that than like her book club or her favorite things, when she would just sort of euphorically scream that people were going to get something that she loved, and they caught that infectious energy and they were excited about it. So know that passion absolutely can be connected with success. If you can find joy, excitement, and exhilaration in every part of the job, even what other people would consider mundane, you are working the right thing for your soul, for your energy, for the planet. So my guides want me to kind of take a pause here and say that one of the main messages is that Love is an infinite sort of resource. It flows through everything. I believe love is the language of God. It's also something that transcends time and space. It goes with us, it's embedded in the soul, and how we express that love, that's the best gift that we can give. So you can spend liberally, generously, and endlessly with what you feel from your heart space. However, time is finite on this planet anyway. And so our time in this particular life, in this particular vessel, this body, is not going to last forever. So use love as a compass to spend your time. These two resources are precious. One is limited, the other one can help you decide how to spend it. Money is not really that important when we look at our cosmic self and all the lives that we've lived. Money is an expression, and it's a way to sort of exchange the time that we're going to spend in certain things. So if you work 40 hours a week, people say thank you by giving you the money. It doesn't make you better or worse than someone. Your paycheck doesn't make you better or worse. It's an expression. And so it doesn't go with you either. So try to, in all the levels of importance, put money, cash, and sort of material stuff at the bottom. Are you happy? Are you doing things that you care about? Are other people impacted in a positive way from your sort of expenditure in time and energy? If so, that's what makes you rich. We're going to talk a little bit more about time here at the end. It was a major theme today, but I want to move along to the other cards here. One of them is patience. So we have temperance here in the middle. Temperance is about being patient, being present, and also kind of not rocking the boat. What I see for some of you is impatience, wanting to sort of just jump ahead, get something moving. And I think that is both good and also could kind of pull you away from what you need to be doing right now. So make sure that you're not rushing something to completion before you've gained all of the necessary lessons. Because whatever we don't learn, it's like history. If we don't learn something from the past, we are basically fated to experience the same thing again until we get it right. That's reincarnation, right? We're never going to fail in our lifetimes, by the way. I recently received this message from a fellow mystic and reader, and I really liked hearing this. It makes sense. That's what the whole process of reincarnation is. Every single lifetime, we get a clean slate, we get a chance to do a little bit better, and it's kind of like a game. You level up. But in this lifetime, you can go several levels. And I want you to realize that it's not how fast you do it, it's how well you do it. And that's what temperance is really teaching you here, is to be patient, to know that you're already on the right track. And once you've gained the insight, once you understand what's going on, things go really, really fast. Here's what you have to deal with this month. We have the Moon card. Highly intuitive, highly creative, sometimes a little scary. The moon comes through when we have to look at things that we have sort of slid underneath the rug and decided, I'll deal with that tomorrow, or it's not a big deal right now, or nobody notices this, so why should I care? This month you should care because this is the foundation on which you are building your life. So whether it's your spiritual self, your physical self, how you are dealing with, relationships in general, because the moon absolutely rules relationships and love. These things need to be healed. The moon comes through and we have to be honest. So this could either be something that's presenting itself right now, like you might be experiencing a situation where someone told a lie, or you're not being truthful with someone, or you're just having a hard time trusting someone. Go to the source, go to the root of the situation and try to heal it. Is it coming from the present, or is this hearkening back from something in the past? Heal one or both of these situations so that everything in the future can start to be better. The moon is also a card that is highly influenced by being afraid of something. So sometimes it's a fear of success. And guess what? We have the Princess of Pentacles here in the crowning position reversed. And I think some of you might just be afraid of what could happen if everything goes well. We also have the Prince of Pentacles here. This could be love and relationships as well. But whether it's finding the right person or doing well in your life, sometimes when these things come in, we're not ready or we're afraid because we're so used to it not working out. So I want you to start to reset your opinion of what's possible and think, I'm on my way to success and I'm ready for some good news. Don't wake up thinking, oh, it's going to be another crazy day, or maybe this will go wrong, or this will go wrong. Wake up expecting something right to happen. And this pulls in like a magnet positive energy. In the deep past, we have the Seven of Pentacles. Now, I view this as a card that is en route to success. In and of itself, it is not. It basically shows that you know what you need to do to improve, that you've probably taken some steps to improve. When it comes to health, it shows healing, but not full recovery. When it comes to finances, it shows gradual improvement or an acknowledgement of something that's not working, but still a need to continue to grow and to improve upon that way of thinking, that process, that attitude. So I see in the deep past the first steps towards recovery. What's interesting is this particular deck adds some extra words to it. It's this deck that I'm using, it's Sun and Moon, is a combination of the Thoth deck, the Crawley deck, and also Rider-Waite. So we get a little bit of both, which is an interesting nexus. One time I'll do a review of this deck in the future, but right now I want to focus on some kind of like contradictory things in this card. First of all, you can actually see this woman or this figure here creating these concentric circles around herself. So what I would say is success and failure are self-defined. They are also constructs. The more we talk about things, I've been referencing the Matrix in a few videos this month, flashing back to the past here, but the more you sort of get into things, the more you realize it's all kind of philosophy, it's all constructs. But if you can see that failure is a step to success, then failure is basically like graduating. Sometimes it's a really fun thing. Sometimes with failure, it's not so fun, but you learn a lot. And so I feel like some of you decided to go through a situation that was difficult, but you gained so much from it. And now you're on the road to being more successful. You gained empathy, you gained life experience, and you're going to use that to your benefit. What's important is to realize that a lot of what was feeling like a disappointment or a setback was imagined. This is my favorite Three of Swords card because it shows that the pain, the anger, the anguish, a lot of times it is something that we pull into our own self. It's not an actual thing. The Three of Swords is an intangible out there. So if you keep pulling at sort of all of the sort of negative things of what you wish you could have done or what didn't go right or all of that, then it comes into your being and then you actually embody the Three of Swords. It wants to go away. This card was reversed and we see this almost as like a thought bubble. So I want you this month to treat some of that feeling of pain or anger or fear or the lower frequencies that are presenting themselves and think, you're dismissed. I'm graduating from that. I don't need to hold on to that. I'm going to instead expect something better. I acknowledge that it happened. I'll process the sadness, the disappointment, or the anger that I have, but I'm not going to hold on to it. And in fact, I feel them getting lighter every day because I'm not going to beat myself up anymore over this. And that's really key. If you can just forgive yourself, that's going to be really important. In the crowning position, we have Princess of Pentacles, and the princess in this deck is like the page. So a page is delivery and receipt. That's why I was saying some of you are having a hard time receiving positive feedback, thinking positively about yourself. It could be self-worth. There may be someone giving you an opportunity, a job opportunity, a love opportunity, someone that could be proposing to you or asking you out. But it feels like there is fear that is ruling this. We have the Nine of Swords as the sort of reaction in the near future. So take a look at that. Is it reality or is it a mirror of the past? If it's the past, can you let it go? And if you let it go, could you actually have something worth holding on to there? Because we have the Prince of Pentacles in the environment. FYI, I see finances getting better. We have Seven of Pentacles in the deep past, Princess of Pentacles in the crowning position, and then the Knight of Pentacles, or the Prince here in the environment. So you're basically getting better and better as I'm looking at not just this month, but the next few months here. So wherever you have been, whatever challenges you've had, let them go, learn from them, and realize that you're on a new trajectory now. Success is going to be a part of that. And remember, success is self-defined. And it's not just money. It's joy, passion, and appreciation, being present. All right. What is really necessary this month is transparency and also cutting of some cords here. So we have the Eight of Swords here. I want to pull it in the upright position. You'll notice that it's sort of like one of those puppets, a marionette, I think. And so with this, you can lift those imaginary blocks that you have around yourself through being inquisitive. Ask questions. If there's some sort of an agreement that someone's pushing you to sign, just make sure you have all the information. Do you agree? Are you comfortable with what they're saying? If so, then move forward. If not, ask those questions before putting your signature on the dotted line. If it's you and your partner and you have a hope, a desire, a fear, a frustration, don't let it build up to the point that it becomes an argument. And it could this month, because when I look in possibilities, we have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords can be something that is accentuated by negativity, or again, it can be an outburst. And the dangerous thing with the Ten of Swords is when you say certain things, you can't bring them back. There's no sort of Control Z, there's no undelete or undo. So just know that you want to really take your time and ask questions before you react. Assume the best. Let someone set the stage and give you the background and the context before you jump to a reaction or to a conclusion. This is going to save you a lot of time, confusion, possibly regret this month. So just get all the information before putting someone in a place where they have to be defensive. One thing that I do see for you this month is wanting to let go of difficulties. We have Three of Swords, Nine of Swords, and Eight of Swords, but they're all reversed. And that's actually a great positioning for all of these. This is basically saying it's time to heal. This is saying I am no longer going to fear things that are out of my control or that haven't yet manifested. Because the Nine of Swords actually is usually more internal than external. It's really about projecting things that, worst case scenarios, things that haven't happened, but then giving them life sometimes. They become self-fulfilling prophecies. And then the Eight of Swords, as we said, is just about being more transparent. If you do that, this was in a very sort of ambiguous space. The Ten of Swords was in possibilities, so it is not written in stone. You can avoid that. If you instead focus on being cool, calm, and collected, by facing your fears, by accepting that you're okay, that there might be this great opportunity, by maybe putting more of your energy into something that you care about, whether it's a relationship, a job, a project, or some sort of passion, all of the sudden we have Eight of Cups here in reverse, which is breaking of cycles and exploring something new. It could show travel. It could be an old friend coming in. This is a second chance card, so you might get a chance to heal something from the past. You have this wonderful healing opportunity this month. And most of the cards that need to be upright the ones that are reversed are basically teaching you that it's time to let go of something that no longer suits you. And I find that very exciting. And I think that a lot of the energy that would kind of be otherwise frustrating this month, you can manage it. You're getting this heads up, and that's why we do the readings every month. It's all about free will. Let me highlight a couple of other things before we go to the expanded forecast. Nine of Swords can also indicate problems with sleep. It can be insomnia, it can be discomfort, maybe because your bed or whatever you're sleeping on, it just needs to be replaced. Something about it isn't adding a sense of comfort and a feeling that you can just sleep soundly. So if that's the case, make sure that you replace it or get some new pillows or something to just kind of help with that process of rest. Consistency is key too. So if you're going to sleep at different hours or waking up at sporadic times, make sure that you put together some sort of a positive cycle there. With the Eight of Swords here, this is sometimes about kind of like putting your own blindfolds on and not wanting to pay attention to something. So I mentioned earlier, if there's anything that you know you need to deal with but you haven't, you have to do that this month. And this is something that's, I would say, the person that needs to pay attention is you. It's in the ego. So this is something in your own life that you have been putting off, whether it's taxes, health, a relationship issue. You've got to deal with it this month, because otherwise it will kind of blow up in the future, and you don't want that. I see that some of you might be shifting into a new job this month. There's a chance for travel and possibly a move, but it looks like it could be something where you test it out first. So maybe you have like a temporary to permanent job situation, or you're going to try moving in with someone to see if it feels good, whether it's a roommate or a love situation. There's a little bit of, again, like testing the waters that I'm getting with that Eight of Cups. So couple of other insights there. Let's go ahead now and expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. All right, let's get started with your health card. Health is mind, body, and spirit, not just the physical. And the message this month is that you are on a journey. that, as I've said earlier, it's not so much about jumping to the goal or the destination. It's about not taking shortcuts, taking your time and really changing things from a core level. So for instance, if you're trying to lose weight, this card is saying that it has to happen not just with a fad diet or a quick exercise program, but changing all of your habits and your attitude towards yourself. Also, what's the motivation? You have to do it because you want to do it for yourself. So beginning the journey this month, take a step in the right direction towards improving your health and doing something that's healthier for yourself. If you're not happy with your job, the same thing holds true. You can't always just quit and put yourself out there without any backup plan. This is about sitting down and kind of mapping out the next couple of years for your health, for your career, for your life. How can you feel and be in a happier space? So take your time and remember that the journey begins now, but it doesn't have to end on the very last day of this month. That's not really practical. Sort of look at the next year or two and see how you're going to make gradual growth over that period and celebrate all the little successes along the way. When we look at wealth, which isn't just money, it's also, again, how are you spending your time? How do you feel about yourself? Are you happy? We have ascension. That's what we're talking about today, how to get up. We were talking about level up to the next level. So it says, move into your true self, rise above the darkness. The light is there. So this is what we've been talking about with all of these cards. It's interesting that all the light cards also have kind of like this golden color here. So 7 of Pentacles, recovery and growth, but an acknowledgement again to take your time on that. Being ready to actually receive positive energy, feedback, or opportunities. Don't push them away because of fear or doubt. Moving forward in it. A knight moves forward. So take your time, get into it, but then actually start that action. So your ascension this month is really about doing something you truly love and then embracing that when it comes through. Because sometimes, as I said earlier, there's this internal fear or doubt that, wait, did this really happen? Is it finally coming through? Or am I able to? Is it okay? Am I being selfish because I want to try something new? Get to that true version of what it is you are passionate about. Remember what I was talking about Oprah. If you can get into that feeling of spirituality, of passion, of enthusiasm, success will follow, others will connect with you, and you're going to just be happier in the process. When we look at love, which isn't just relationships, it's how you're spending that currency. What I see here is a need for some of you to find out who you are. When I look at this, it's very much a twin flame card. But there's a danger sometimes when I see this sort of mirror image. You want to make sure that you become the best version of yourself and that you don't see yourself as incomplete if you're not partnered with someone. So this is saying you are already whole, but you need to know that, see that, feel that before your partner can come in. The cool thing about this, though, is that once you acknowledge and sort of build that firm foundation that we've been talking about today, then the partner that comes in is just that, a partner and not a teacher. A lot of times in the relationships, I think even some of the relationships in the past, there might have been a lesson attached to it or something about trust and honesty. If you can overcome that, if you can start to feel good about yourself and see everything as kind of, like a foundational piece to the puzzle, this time around, you get someone that lifts you up, that supports you, that's on the same level. There's no codependency, though. There's no teaching. And that should be the desire for past, present, and future relationships. If you're in love, if you're already in a relationship, this means that you have each other's back and that you start to focus on what you can do for yourself and also for your partner. But this is an integration card primarily. The partnership comes through because you are whole, not because you are seeking completion. When I'm looking at relationships, 2 of the same suit often indicate a relationship. What I'm seeing here with Page, the Page card, is that something's kind of disconnecting when we're looking at communication, because we have the Prince or the Knight card here, which is about movement, but this is about how you are taking in things. And I feel like for those of you that might be in a partnership this month, you need to take time to listen. Active listening is really important. We have 2 earth signs that are kind of clashing a little bit here with the 9 of Swords, the 8 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. So I feel like taking some time to just sort yourself out and maybe even taking a little break between what you've been doing with this person and what's going on in your life is going to be really important, because there is a chance for an argument or some sort of a disagreement. And I think that it can be avoided by sleeping on a big conversation or decision before you move forward in it, and just assuming the best and letting that person express themselves. That's going to save you, like I said earlier, a lot of time and a lot of energy. Let's go ahead now and move along to your destiny card. There's a lot of text on this. I love this deck, but it is wordy beyond belief. Thankfully, after using this for a little bit, I realized that you can basically read the beginning and the end, and then there's a little bit of imagery description in the middle, so I'm going to compress it a little bit for you. It says at the beginning here, what is it about time that gives it such power? The power to change all that exists back into dust. This really goes to what we were talking about earlier, that we are infinite beings that have to exist within this finite continuum. Even if it is a construct on this planet, it is something that limits what we can do, and that's the power that it has. Time in and of itself, it's not like it's an energy or an entity that's going to pull our strings. We actually get to decide how to spend it. So the power is an illusion. We have the choice, we have some control over it. We just don't know how much time we were given or we agreed to have in this lifetime. And that is the ambiguous piece, and that's why we have to spend it as if every moment is our last. The middle piece is what the picture is about. It says, learn to play with time, a surreal element like fish swimming in the treetops. And I kind of like this. When I looked at the picture at first, I thought, what? But the description in the middle made it a little bit more relatable, which is time flows through things. And it's not as rigid, it's not as stuck as these sort of trees, which are rooted and can't move. So we can adjust our reaction to how much time we're given. So you may be blessed with good genes and you have relatives that live well into their hundreds, centenarians, or you might be dealing with a health issue that is cutting off what you thought you might have. And whatever you're kind of experiencing, this is saying be fluid with it and try to do the best that you can. Go with the flow. It's something that I've been talking about as well. Let's now move along to the bottom here, and it's talking about the obsession with time and how that can be unhealthy. It says, if you are obsessed with something, it's better to explore it than to deny it, and that's really what the moon card was bringing through this month. And then finally it said, your power depends on your balanced use and understanding of time. So once you can kind of look at it playfully, once you can see that, yes, I'm constrained, but my power is how I decide to use it. I can't control how much I have, but I can control my reaction to how much I have and what I decide to do during that time. Then you become empowered again. And so this month it's about taking the reins back and deciding, okay, I may have wasted time in the past, or I may have spent it in a way that I don't agree with now, but I had to learn something and that was the lesson at that moment. Now I'm going to be much more aware, much more awake. That's why we didn't get it, but the hanged man sort of imagery came to me even as I was discussing the channeled information. So everything's worth the wait, and I added a little piece up here. I said, the delay right now is a gift during which you will gain insight and clarity. So remember here, our thoughts affect our timing or what's going on. And that's what we see here. So time has been woven through this whole reading. You're okay, things are fine. It's really your reaction and also now how you decide to spend your time that's the most important. Whew, that was a lot, right? Let's go ahead now and review everything that we talked about, and then I'll leave you with a closing word. As I said a moment ago, everything that's going on right now, the delay or any sort of pause that's going on, it's so that you can gain insight like the hanged man. It's worth the wait. Your thoughts, your actions are really going to affect future timing. So as you start to enjoy each and every moment and start to find things to celebrate and enjoy in your life, that's going to be really essential to speeding things up. As I look at all the cards in front of me, I didn't get nearly enough Cups cards. I got the 8 of Cups here at the end, but there's a lot of work, a lot of sort of heavy energy at the middle. And so I would encourage you here in this review to kind of find some things that bring joy in your life. Art, music, hanging out with friends, reading a book, seeing a movie. Pepper this into your month so that it's not all about work. It's not all about this emotional sort of energy or all these communication cards that are coming through. You need a little bit of a release so that you can be more even. That's what Temperance is telling you here. Once you find even footing, you're going to be able to deal with whatever it might be that's scaring you or making you feel uncertain. And the moon is coming through so that finally you can face your fears. That's what the Eight of Swords reversed is, transparency and visibility. And that's what the moon is trying to help you do. So these cards are definitely connected. I see recovery and improvement when it comes to your finances. Not only that, many of you may have a new job opportunity or be seeking one out. You may have two different opportunities on the horizon. It could be work. It could also be a suitor, and I feel like what's important is just being open to this, not sort of discounting either your worthiness or maybe how good this opportunity may be. Just give yourself time to sit with it for a little bit. We see this month a major trend. This is where some of the recovery is for some of you, in letting go of pain from the past. Three of Swords reversed, Nine of Swords reversed, Eight of Swords reversed. All of these things are going to help you avoid a future Ten of Swords incident. But if you don't do the healing, there is a possibility for an argument, a disappointment, or even a health issue to pop up, because the Ten of Swords can show chronic pain or discomfort. So do your best to let that stuff go so that you can be healthy and happy. Love is on the horizon for many of you. I see a strong earth energy here. Two of the same suit often indicates marriage, partnership, or strong friendship. The thing that I mentioned earlier is a need to have active listening because the Page card was reversed. With the Prince card in the upright position, I do feel like your finances are starting to take off or starting to improve, so that's something worth celebrating. Dig in and get the answers to any questions or any sort of uncertainty that you have. Just be very inquisitive this month. Eight of Swords is basically something that you can mitigate by just asking the right questions and not being afraid of that. Ten of Swords, again, I want to make sure that some of you are sleeping well, and if there's any sort of chronic pain issues going on in your neck, your back, or elsewhere in your body, that you're getting that taken care of. The Eight of Cups reverse is about releasing old cycles, starting new ones. It can show travel for some of you. And I mentioned that if there's difficulty in a current situation with a relationship, or even if you're really stressed at work, this is saying take a small trip. Do something just for you, and it may be a solitary one. That's fine. Do what you need to do to sort of decompress. Just make sure it's fun. Don't take your laptop. Don't do any work on this trip. This is just you, nature, or you, and some activities that bring you joy and pleasure. With health, you're taking a step in the right direction this month. You don't have to heal every wrong or every sort of frustration that you have. This is the first step in a larger journey. For wealth, do what you love. Find a way to be happier. Realize, just like I was saying here, that it doesn't happen overnight. So if you want to try a different job or go back to school or whatever it is, this is going to be a journey as well, but it's the way that you can level up and get into the next sort of energetic frequency that you want. So ascension is at your disposal, and you should be doing something that gives back to you, not just in money, but in something deeper, something more substantial on a sort of spiritual level. With relationships, you are whole. You don't need someone in your life. If you have someone in your life, focus on healing yourself so that your relationship can be more level. What I'm seeing here is twin flame energy, or sort of a reflection. So you're calling in whatever you are. This is always true, but especially true this month. So you need to do some healing here and some integration so that the partner that you bring in or the people in your life are not trying to sort of fix you. You have to fix you. And finally, seeing a sort of playful approach towards time. We have these fish going through the trees here. So if you can see your experience with time as one of being fluid, of being able to sort of not be so rigid with what's going on, or to have a sort of a more open approach towards something that you can't control, that's going to be essential. Remember that with time, yes, it is finite, but how you spend it, how you react to the sort of finite constraints within time, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So I feel like there was a lot of important lessons that came through, and we'll talk a little bit more at the end about this one, but back to the catalyst, I think that this is all leading you towards joy, passion, pleasure, fulfillment. When you work through these sort of lessons, things get better. And I want to highlight that I do think that money and opportunity is knocking on the door. For some of you, it could actually be something that finally makes you happy or feels better. Realize that sometimes that means a cut in pay, but like the biggest and most important raise of your life, which is joy, satisfaction, and fulfillment. Hopefully today you received everything that you needed to really feel prepared for the month ahead. This is a general reading, so if there was something that came through that was specific to your life and you would like additional guidance, feel free to reach out to me. You can click on the first card in the video or the first link below it. That'll take you to my booking site, and if it makes sense, feel free to book an appointment, and I can't wait to talk to you. If you enjoyed what you saw today and you would like to make sure that future videos like this are made possible, as I said earlier, it's all fan supported and you can make a difference. If you click on that second card or second link, this will take you to a page on my site that talks about becoming a patron, which is really just how you can contribute. And this includes everything from a PayPal contribution to joining me on Patreon or the brand new feature here on YouTube, becoming a member of the channel. These are just different ways to give back. Some of them are one-time, some of them are a recurring payment, and you can go to that page on my site and it outlines everything and all of the different ways you can do it. And I just have to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everybody that has helped me over the past 4 or 5 years. It helps me continue to buy fascinating new decks. I'm using a couple of new ones this month, and it also helps me set up the time that I need for this production. I like to spend between 4 to 6 hours to produce these videos. They're not just 40 minutes. I put a lot of time and energy. It takes time to kind of set everything up. So when you do this, you allow me more production time, and that makes better quality videos, so it's win-win. Anyway, thank you so much. And finally, if you just like to give back in a way that doesn't involve booking an appointment or contributing money, a few clicks really make a big difference. And the third link in the video will walk you through how you can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or also my newsletter. And hey, we got Apollo there. I'm going to pull him up here in a second. By doing this, I want to say that it's important because, first of all, this is a free resource. And when you share it on your social media networks, if you choose to do so, this really helps me connect with new people. So every time you do that, it helps me accomplish my life purpose, which is to start intelligent conversations about spirituality, to help raise consciousness, and to give people a light in the dark. And I think we need that right now because there's a lot of uncertainty on the planet. So I just want to say thank you. So as promised, we have a little guest appearance here by Apollo. Apologies for his hair. He just woke up from a nap. One thing that I'd like to mention here is that as I'm looking at everything in front of me, the most important thing is to have a little bit of fun. Spend time with people that you love in your life. It can also include pets or any activities that you love. Make sure that you're not taking these things for granted. Pets are a great example of how precious time is. I wish that Apollo would live for many, 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 many years, but you only get like between 10 to 15 years with a pet. And he's taught me the preciousness of being present, of spending time. He's also opened me up to love and joy. So make sure whether you have children, pets, or even older parents in your life that you are taking time to appreciate them. That's something that just came through at the end, and his little presence here gave me one final word for you, which is it's the people in your life that matter just as much as the time. So do something with someone that you love this month. Reach out to them, pick up the phone, send a text, or just play with your kids or with your dog. You're never going to regret that. If you're on your deathbed, you're never going to think, I wish I had spent 5 more minutes on the conference call. But you will say, gosh, I just wish I went to that practice, or I went to the play, or I spent another 5 minutes playing with the dog. That stuff matters. So don't wait until your life review. Have a life review this month and make everything count, okay? That's everything for this month, so I just want to say thank you again for allowing me to spend the last 40 to 45 minutes with you. You have a lot of choices, not just here on YouTube, but in life as well. We just talked about the importance of time. You couldn't give me any bigger gift than to spend this time with me. So from my heart to yours, I wish you the best. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and until next month, I'll see you soon.